We often view artificial intelligence as a nearly free utility. However, the price you pay at the login screen rarely reflects the actual cost of the electricity and silicon powering it. This chart shows raw compute cost for a video. Scripting takes a fraction of a cent. Voiceover costs pennies. Imagery is barely a blip. But market price differs. A subscription block drops onto that compute, pushing the final cost to $49 a month. A freelancer might feel they're getting a deal on cutting-edge tech, when they are actually paying a massive premium for a polished user interface. Today, that high monthly fee is a convenience tax, allowing users to tap into a few cents of raw processing without ever seeing the wiring. By 2028, the industry hits a physical wall. Demand for advanced chips outstrips the capacity of every factory on Earth, and the era of endless, cheap scale comes to a halt. Governments now monitor the massive energy grids and water supplies required to keep these processors cool, adding carbon taxes to every high compute task. This creates a price inversion. You might see a $42 automated quote to generate a 10-minute video, while a human freelancer on a marketplace offers to record and edit the same project for $30. The machine built to automate human labor has become more expensive than hiring the person it was meant to replace. When digital abundance ends, computing power becomes a metered resource, and access to the most capable models starts to look like a luxury service. In one scenario, the most powerful models serve exclusively as high-end consultants for corporate headquarters and the ultra-wealthy. Most people are left with small, quantized models running locally on their phones, tools that can handle a basic schedule but struggle with complex reasoning. This makes cloud compute the utility that must be rationed, forcing households to manage their monthly token budget just like their electricity usage. Families might find themselves looking at an over-limit warning on their screen because the weekly quota was spent on a frivolous video of a robot cat. When computation carries a high price tag, the way people interact with digital tools shifts from constant use to selective, high-value tasks. Owning a dedicated, high-performance AI becomes a status symbol, marking the difference between those who can afford a digital brain and those who can't. This creates room for a human comeback. Freelancers are finding success by branding their work as artisanal and 100% manual, a guarantee that no algorithm touched the final product. In schools, students are now forced to weigh the cost of their tools. Consider a high school robotics team planning their final project. They can pay 10,000 rupees for high-end cloud simulations, or they can spend 3,000 rupees on physical parts and motors to test their ideas in the real world. The team picks up the duct tape. They build a physical prototype and iterate by hand. Tinkering is now significantly cheaper than renting server time. Limited budgets turn digital simulation into a tactical decision. Students learn to use their hands for the messy trial-and-error work, reserving their expensive compute credits only for the final, most complex calculations. This graph shows a compute shock. Just as rising oil prices impacted transportation in the 70s, a sudden jump in processing power costs ripples through every digital industry. Corporate leaders now manage digital tokens like raw materials. On her investor call, CFO Sarah points to a 30% drop in token burn, cutting costs by limiting the use of expensive models. At the consumer level, we might see surge pricing for AI access. The cost to run a homework help bot spikes during evening hours. To prevent a divide in education, some cities are opening public AI libraries, providing subsidized access to the high-tier models that individuals can no longer afford on their own. These machines rely on finite physical inputs. Every prompt consumes measurable electricity and requires thousands of gallons of water to cool the infrastructure. The rising cost of compute is changing the math of automation. In this new economy, we are seeing a clear divide. Machines handle the tasks that are physically impossible for us, while humans remain the most efficient choice for everything else.